Yo, what's up, Kwanza Global family? Today's episode 12, and we are back. Episode 12, we're going to be talking about thankfulness, a heart of gratitude, and how it's important to have a heart of gratitude at all times, in all things, good or bad. A heart of gratitude is crucial in everyday circumstances, everyday life, period. A heart of gratitude. It's about being thankful for and in everything. So there's a difference, but when you think about both of them, you also realize that there's no point in time that you should be able to say that you're not thankful for something. Thankful for something, and to be able to be thankful in anything. So that's what episode 12 is about, having a heart of gratitude. You could be going through anything right now, literally anything right now. But even in the midst of that, you have to understand that being thankful will change just the way you see things, the way how you're able to get through it, the way your mindset on the situation or within the situation will change for the better positively just by having gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude. So with that, you're able to navigate pretty much anything, because you're not, with an attitude of gratitude, you can look at things realistically and practically, but at the same time you can also realize that it's not something that will end you or defeat you at the end of the day. That is the most important thing, because without that attitude of gratitude, you can lose yourself in the situation, looking at the situation, looking at anything that you're going through or experiencing, and it'll be hard to get through it. You won't know if you're going to get through it. You will look at it and think, if I get through it, not when I get through this. It'll be if I get through this, or I don't know if I'll get through this. So looking at, you can call it the bright side of things, but honestly just being thankful. Just, you could be 6 feet under. You could be, so many things we see on the news, just random, occurrences that, that just seem like, how could that have happened? Like, what happened here? What went wrong? You can look at the stats of it, how common certain things are, but in the reality of it is people, there's people that are not here today that were here like a couple minutes ago, a couple hours ago, a few days ago, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, that we remember them as if it was yesterday, and just going like that. But it's not you. You're listening to this, and it's not you. You're able to listen. You're able, to read. You're able to write. Whatever you're able to do, just that alone, you should be thankful for. To be able to listen, to be able to eat, drink water, to be able to read, to be able to walk or talk, to be able to dance, sing, to be able to smile. These are all, particular things I'm naming, but we don't. These are, and a lot of these things are also things we don't think about because it's so natural. It's just a part of, living. We just do it. We just do these things. We don't have to think twice about it. We just do it. We just get up and eat. We just get up and go to the shower. We just get up and brush our teeth. We just get up and open the door just get up. Period. We just get up. We just sit up out our beds. We sit up from our beds. We stretch. We move. We don't think twice about it. We do not think twice about it, and that stuff is so crucial. It's so amazing, and you understand how amazing it is when you live with a heart of gratitude. Because without a heart of gratitude, those things are just they're they're more or less looked at as the expected or the guaranteed, right? They're looked at as kind of like there's no way you're not going to be able to do these daily, day to day things. And for some people, reality that reality of being able to do what you're able to do on the daily changes in an instant. And, God forbid, but it happens to people. But it's unfortunate that it has to happen, period, at all, for you to understand. You should just understand that just by, being able to breathe and move is a blessing. Having a heart of gratitude is so important. Even just, there's people playing sports all their life. They get to a point there in college, or they make it professionally, or just at some point in their life, then they go regular doctor checkup, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden, oh, you're not going to be able to play the sport you love anymore. You're not going to be able to do this anymore at this level or to the maximum of your capability, or of your ability, because you have a risk of harming yourself, of having adverse health effects from it. And that's just, you have to, in some cases, like, what can you do? And even in that, though, that's why having a heart of gratitude is important. Even in that, you're still have you still have a reason, you still have things to be thankful for, even in those tough times, which is, I think that changes everything. It just changes how you live life, no matter what you do or where you are, whatever you wherever you end up. Having a heart of gratitude it is never a bad thing. It's never not needed. It's always important. Day to day, second to second, minute to minute, there's always something to be thankful for. You're driving and then you doze off, but somehow or you zone out. I know sometimes driving, I don't know, imagine just zoning out and you just made it from point A to point B. We've all had different experiences, and we've all also had common, similar, if not certain exact experiences where there's just things that happen and you just don't even know how you made it out. You don't know how you overcame that, or you don't know how you got to where you got, or that opportunity that you got, whatever it is. There can be so many examples, but you got there. You made it home safe. You got to your destination safe. You ended up getting that opportunity, whatever it is, and it's really one of those things that's not explainable. There's moments in life where it's just not explainable, and sometimes we just don't even think twice after of it after that, or ever again. And it's not something we have to just be so obsessed over, but it's something we should acknowledge and understand and recognize and be appreciative of, being appreciative of it and recognizing it and understanding it, because obvious actions or ways we go about things when we do not recognize and understand or appreciate, simply appreciate, you know, the various things that we have and the various things that we've been through and where we are now from where we are before and where we're going. So many things we can be thankful for, and just to be and just to give, thanks, and no matter what the moment is, there's so many opportunities, and there's no reason not to give thanks. Just none. Once it pops up in your head, where it's like, wow, it's like once it pops, because we forget sometimes, or we don't really, we're busy, we're doing things, doing that, and sometimes we don't just sit down and just say, thank you. Tell God thank you, and just for everything. Just a brief moment just to say that, it helps us just to recognize that anything still, even though that's not what anyone plans for, but anything, could a lot of things could be different. Anything. You have a place to sleep, something to eat. But you could easily be on the flip side. Somehow you could be on the flip side. You don't, crazy things have happened, unlikely things that you wouldn't expect have happened. You have everything set. You have everything prepared, and everything you had prepared still did not thwart the, the whatever, unfortunate event that happens. It's still, no matter how prepared you were, no matter how planned you were, things still happen. Things still happen at the end of the day, and you still have to give things in that. It's always something to be. You always have to have. Something we've talked about on the podcast before is having that perspective, looking at things from a different perspective. And being thankful is always looking at things in a different perspective. It always is. You're always looking at things in a different perspective. Something is going wrong, or there's something that needs to be addressed or fixed. You're gonna look at it and look at the problem, or are you going to, I don't know, are you gonna look at the problem, or are you gonna look at how either the solution to the problem, or understanding that despite this problem, I'm still alive, I'm still blessed, I'm still breathing, I still have a life to live. So that right there is something to be thankful for. You can find so many, you can find those things in life to actually be that will uplift you. Being thankful will uplift you, will encourage you, will remind you, will call to remembrance everything God has done for you. Everything. From getting you that job, getting you that car, getting you that house, getting you that fridge, that stove, that new furniture, that check, that opportunity, that recognition, that that deliverance, that miracle, that mercy and grace that you needed, that for just saving you, period. Being thankful will call all of those things that have happened to us throughout our lives, and has affected everyone, in a positive way. It calls those things to remembrance, things that were meant for, that were meant to hurt us, that didn't hurt us somehow, some way, but actually that unfortunately got other people, but somehow you weren't touched, right? those things are called to remembrance. Those events, those situations, and those circumstances you were in, where you made it out, where you thought you were done. You didn't even believe enough or have that assurance, and you still made it out. Those are things that are called to remembrance, and we have to be mindful of and thankful for and appreciative of, you know, each and every day at some point in our day. Um, but it happens that we forget, but we should try not to forget too long of 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 God's faithfulness. At the end of the day, we cannot be so um, de- distracted or lose touch with, you know, how we got to where we are. At the end of the day, you know, there's a reason why we're here, and also we had help along the way, and that's something that we also have to be thankful. You know, just having people in our corner, you know, to guide us, to help us learn. Those are very, very crucial, you know, things to acknowledge and to understand. It is because those people are not just, you know, we're not just disposable. We're not just here one day and boom, we just poof away. No, we're you know, we're all human beings. We all have value. We all have purpose. We all have a reason for being here. We're all connected. You know, no matter what you may think, we're all connected. We're all, you know, a, you know, we're all together. You know, we're all a family. We're all, you know, we can all relate to the human experience. So, you know, I mean, that's profound. I mean, and, you know, each one should help one, you know, at the end of the day. And that's how we have to look at, you know, you have to look at things differently. And having a heart of gratitude allows you to look at things and look at people and look at the world differently. You know, you don't do things the same with a heart of gratitude. You just don't work the same. You don't work the same because you're thankful, you're appreciative of where you're at. You're appreciative of where you're at, where you know, where you've come from, you know, and again, where you're going. You're appreciative of all of that. The way you see things, where you're going, your future, you're looking at it in a positive way. If you know, God brought me from where I was to now, you know, the future is bright. You know, that type of understanding and being thankful for that, you know, and just what in everything that you're doing, having a heart of gratitude allows you to not do things in a way that seems, you know, or is for a lack of effort or care, or as if it's not worth your time or worth anything, or that it's, you know, that it's a waste. And there shouldn't be any waste of time, you know, in theory, in a sense, but everything has its purpose and reason for you doing it or experiencing it. And that is another thing to be thankful for. Like, okay, something that you felt, yo, I wasted all this time doing this or saying that or whatever it is that you think is a waste of time, but whether you may not understand it yet or even at all, but there's always a place for things, a time for things, even if it doesn't seem that way. Just that the way things work together, that's just how things are, mesh and work, just all together, just for, just things to align. And the way things work is not how we planned it or expected it to a lot of the times. We try to prepare for certain things the best way we can, plan for certain things the best way we can, and in very kind of small scenarios, in a sense, because a lot of the time we're you have to think about it. We're figuring it out from the moment you're born. You're living with, your parents and everything. You're living. You're not by yourself. You're not. It's not like you just grow up and you're by yourself. You're learning. So there's no possible way you can understand, everything. You're still being guided, and all of that is something to be thankful for. Just having, that, um, some type of, path. We always have that path, um, that we all have our own unique path to take. But, at some point we always get to a stage where we reach, where we all have that experience of kind of having to make, similar, or those, these crucial choices in life. Um, and how the outcomes of it and everything. We all experience these things, similarly, right? But you know, there's never. I feel like you can always find someone that can almost parallel or relate to you in some way in what you're going through. You know, that's something to be thankful for. It's not like we're living in where we can't get any, you know, support or help. So I think it's having that. You have to really understand and look out of the box on things and be thankful. It's like you're not. You think you're alone. You're not really alone though. Okay, you may not have had this person in your life. You may not have had that person in your life that you expected to have, right? But you're not alone. You still have, okay, look at this situation. Oh, you're going to school. So look at that teacher. Look at that mentor. Look at that person who's always looking out for you. You know what I mean? I feel like there's always another way to look at things with a heart of gratitude. There always is, and something that briefly slipped my mind, but something that I was mentioning is just the fact that the small scenarios where we plan for, right? We can only plan so much, or rather, we can plan as much as we want, but at some point, there's certain things you just don't know. You can plan for what you think may happen, what you think you may know, but we all know things don't always go as planned. So therefore, you can plan things, but because whatever that you're planning for has not occurred yet, things haven't been set into place, things haven't been put into motion yet. Then there's no way for you to know if that plan is foolproof, if it's going to work the way you expected it to happen. It's based off something you expect to happen, most likely, or what you think is most likely, and it may not work like that. And even if it is the most likely way for things to happen, things still happen. A rare thing still happens, and that plan is not foolproof because it didn't prepare for that very unlikely scenario. But that unlikely scenario did not mean it wasn't possible, but maybe for the most part, as far as whatever, based off, prior experiences and prior whatever, history, you know, based off history, you didn't think this would go wrong or this would happen like this, but it did. So how do but you still have to be, even in those moments, you have to understand that, from growing up, like, how many things did we really plan growing up? Who was doing the planning for our parents or whoever was our guardian, whoever was with us was planning those things, and we're still alive. Think about that. So, you know what I mean? So, are you really in control as much as you think you're in control? I don't think you are. I think, yeah, your parents are supposed to take care of you, but but think about it. Your parents parents are not there 24/7. They're not with you in school. They're not with you when you sometimes they might not be with you when you go out to the park, or with you to that party or wherever. They're not with you 24/7. For as long however long you've lived, you know with your parents or your guardian, wherever, you know with under supervision, it's not 24/7. So at some point you still have to make certain decisions, think of things on your own. There's moments in life where you have that, where you have to do things on your own, and that there's no possible way at you know for the most part, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, that you're planning things to the T, or you're so you know you're thinking so far ahead. And even if you are, for your age, for against the compared to the majority, that you're thinking very far ahead, you're very advanced, right? Even with that, life still is life. Things happen unexpectedly, no matter how smart you are, how wise you think you are, how prepared you think you are, whatever it is, things happen. You still have to be thankful that you know, you made it through. That you still have to be thankful that, all right, this didn't work out the way I wanted to, but keep it pushing. And then things are different for different people. So it could be something that's not so, if it doesn't go as planned, that's not so detrimental, or so what's the word, important, or it may not really hurt you as much, depending on what it is. It may hurt someone else a lot. Something that it's like really, 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 hurting because they wanted to get that A plus on their paper, and they didn't get it. Some people, it's like, hey, that A minus is fine. It's, like, it's still an A. It's not 95, but all right, a 90 is okay. Some people, it's like, dang, it's almost like the end of the world. No matter what it is, whatever the situation, because again, you cannot really judge how something will affect someone. It depends on how much value or importance you're placing on certain things. So for a 90 for someone might be perfectly fine, and they'd be just as fine as if it was like a 95. And for other people, it's like, if it's not 100, it's not fine at all. You can get into why it's not fine. For personal reasons, parents' expectations, this, that, and the third, or your own, or you just putting so much pressure on yourself. But at the end of the day, for some people, it's not. But you have to look at it and see things differently with a heart of gratitude, and be like, some people are not even in school reading and being able to learn what you're learning right now, and study what you studied to even get that grade you got. They're not doing get up to that point. They're still looking to see if they can get books. Maybe books are not even allowed where they are for some reason. You never know. You have to understand the world here globally, or they don't have access to books, or they don't have the lights to read the books. They can't see the words that they're reading. So they have the book. They can't even. Either they don't have access to the book, or they don't have the resource to be able to even read the book. But you are worried because you didn't get 100 on it, and it's the end of the world. All right. But you could still see what you got wrong and learn from it. All right, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. That does not define who you are because you got a 95 or you got 100. That doesn't make you any more or less than. Right? That doesn't make you any more you or less you if you got a 95 or 100. Heart of gratitude. I'm thankful. that I even have the chance to even understand. The fact that I can even understand what that shows a high level of understanding. To even have got a 95. All right, I didn't get 100. Let me see what I missed. Learn from it. Can't go back in time. You missed that one. If you knew it, you would have got it right. So what's the big deal? All right, you didn't get that one. Or if maybe you didn't understand that question, whatever the case is, but you didn't get that one right. Or you skipped it, you forgot to, whatever it is. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't define you. At the end of the day, it doesn't make you you. Heart of gratitude, it's just you will see things differently. You will understand things differently. You will live differently because it's an inward thing. A heart of gratitude, a heart of gratitude. You know, it's a heart of gratitude. It's a saying, and it starts from within. A heart of gratitude. It starts from within, and that will manifest itself outward in the way you talk, act, and think, everything. Because there will be bad circumstances, there will be bad situations, there will be situations or events, whatever that are not favorable to you, right? Are not favorable for you, to you, and that is not an excuse not to be thankful or grateful. How could it be excused? Because if it weighed that much, if it was so detrimental, that whatever it is that happened, you just wouldn't be standing. You know what I mean? It would be so, if it was such a cosmic event that it just could not hold. Right? But it just shows you how much control you really have, and that you don't really have any, besides over, yourself. As far as how you think, your actions, you know, again, like I already mentioned, your thoughts, your how you think, how you act, um, what you say, what comes out of your mouth. Those things. You have control. You have the ability to determine what goes in your mind. What comes out of your mouth. All those things. As far as mentally. For the most part. Anyway, for the most part, because in some cases, you know, you may not at certain times. You may not actually. You may not. For people who may not have that ability to have that self control. As because of mental reasons, because of certain reasons. Well, then even that, to be able to have medicine, to be able to have you think coherently, or to be able to operate, and do things, in full capacity, you know, with modern medicine now, you thank God for all of these different things. You have to be thankful for these things, because imagine there was a time where we didn't have these certain things that we're not even as probably as thankful for now. You know, even though, because we just have it. We were born into it. We lived through those times where it was just there. There was a period of time where people did not have these things that we have now. So once it developed into having these things, it's like, I would think that a lot of people who didn't have those things back then and grew up in a time where those things were not there are probably very appreciative of how far technology, medicine, all these things have come. I would think, but humans are very short memory when it comes to you know good things that have happened in life, and it, unfortunately, because with a lack of gratitude, you the bad things you allow the bad things to take precedence, to take authority over the good things that have happened to you, as well. Um, who's really counting how many unfortunate events have happened as far as fortunate events? Who's really counting? You know, one extremely unfortunate event could feel like your whole life is just, a tragedy when it's not. Um, and even if you're counting, I mean, you also have to look again with the heart of gratitude. You also have to realize that how bad, possibly, or how unfortunate could things really be. Maybe there's a perspective shift that needs to be done on what you considered a really, that's something that was that you consider really bad, was it really bad, or is it something that was not really bad at all? Was it really a negative? You know, um, and but because if it was, it's not something you can learn from, is it? Or you're basically saying it's not something you could learn from or use to help anyone else, or to, you know, use in your life in some way, is what you're saying. If it's, is it that cosmically bad where it's just end of the world? And, is it that catastrophic? And I think, those are questions we have to ask ourselves, or ask ourselves at some point, and just think about it. Because what, people have been through so many things, but you're telling me that what you've been through, but you're somehow here today, living and breathing. Are you going to hold on to what that was, whatever it is, that hurt you so much, that unfortunate event that occurred so much, that you're telling me you're going to continue living and breathing as if you're not living and breathing, essentially, as if that's minuscule to you? Okay, that's a cliche one. The fact that you're living and breathing, something as big as that is too cliche. I mean, you know what I mean? So then, imagine the sun didn't come up. No, think about it though. Like we'll watch movies of certain, of things that are very entertaining to us, or seem exaggerated to us, right? That are entertaining and seem exaggerated. But there's certain things where film or books will give us scenarios that seem crazy, but it's like, how crazy is it? We're not in control of anything. What if God just stopped the sun from coming up, and pitch dark? What's that movie, Zero Dark 30? But there's places up, is it South Pole or North Pole, where it's just dark for, is it 24 hours? But I believe there's a time where it's daytime for a very long time, like I think literally the whole day, and then it's nighttime for also the same amount of time at some point. Like, just imagine that. You guys have heard of seasonal, depression, and it's just like things change, the mood kind of changes, where it's like, like imagine winter lasted too long. Like winter's supposed to stop around, April-ish at least, March, April area, right? Imagine it went till June. That would be a catastrophe. I don't care. But just think of that though. These are kind of like nightmare scenarios that you would see in movies. It's like, imagine every day was winter, or every day was the same exact day, like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Watch that movie, just the same exact day. I believe it was Bill Murray that was in that movie. Groundhog Day. Every day was the same exact day, and you kept repeating literally everything. Everybody's responses, everybody's initial reactions or responses to whatever it is was the exact same every day. Everything happened exactly the same day. Imagine, just you kept repeating the same day, nothing different. There was no new opportunities to really have, or experiences to really have, because you're going to repeat the same day. Or there might be new, but it's not really new because you move further into the next day. I mean, these are just random hypothetical scenarios that you hear in movies and stuff. But imagine that though. Imagine you just living the same day. So that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what plan you have for yourself. It doesn't matter what plan you have for yourself. It doesn't matter what your dreams are, what your focus is, what you're reading, what you're doing, where you're from, where you're at. No matter what, you're going to relive the same day. Like Groundhog Day. Imagine that. Or it doesn't matter if you want to play outside. It's always dark. How are you going to play outside? You can't even see the hoop. Can't even see the hoop. Can't play basketball. Can't play soccer. You could barely see the net. Wouldn't even know how to drive there. You're going to cause an accident because it's so dark. Imagine the sun didn't come up. Like, these are wild, crazy, it's like stuff you only hear in movies, but imagine. But because it happens to us every day, where the sun comes up, the moon comes up, our car is always working. That door always opens. That the house is on solid foundation, each for hundreds and hundreds of years, until all the time the foundation is strong. That tree is always standing up That tree is rooted, grounded, so it's not gonna fall on your house. It's right next to your house. It's not gonna fall. These are little things that just imagine the world, like, just imagine, like, just little scenarios. You could say certain things could be exaggerated if you want, but just imagine it, because you're not really in control. We're not in control of anything. We don't control when the sun comes up. We don't. It's like people would. We just don't. We don't. You'd be like, oh, this is the reason why this happens. The sun goes. It's like, all right, that the sun does this or that based off, whatever science, explains to you. You know, but at the end of the day, you're not the creator of it. You did not put the sun in its place. You did not put the sun in its place. You did not put the moon in its place. All these stars that you don't even see. All these galaxies that you could not even come close to because you die. All the way far, vast in space that you're trying to learn and understand more about it. But you really can only go so far, limitedly. And like, how much control do you really have? Because there's I'm talking about space, even just in day-to-day life. There's certain things that happen that just throw us off, right? And it's out of our control. Because if it was in your control, then it would never have occurred in the first place. To have had you feeling some type of way. Because if you were in control of it, then, things would go your way all the time. But even if you were in control, how could things, if the way you want things done and the way someone else is thinking are two different things. So, there's no way, anyway, that things would go exactly how you plan all the time in certain scenarios, because it's like we're all different. So sometimes a miscommunication happens, a bad read happens, something happens, and it's just, emotions flare up, things happen. Can't control it. How much control do we really have besides on ourselves in a certain capacity? I think it's a very specific or intricate thing as well to really think about, in a sense. But it's also very simple as well. I think it doesn't necessarily have to be overcomplicated. It can be. I think it's very practical at the end of the day. It's just there's things in life that are out of our control, and that does not matter. That is just reality. That is inevitable. There's things that are out of our control. A lot of things are out of our control. We are not in control ultimately of very much. But despite what's happening to us externally and how we're feeling internally and all these different things, no matter what it is, things in our control or out of our control, a heart of gratitude will, is a recipe, is one of the perfect, antidotes to just going about life. Give thanks in all things. Give thanks to God in all things. Give thanks to God in all things. In every prayer you pray, start off with Thanksgiving. Just give thanks, continually. Like, that means don't stop. As much as you can, as frequently as you can, give thanks, because it's so important to living a life exceptionally. You cannot live life exceptionally abundantly and with as very minimal stress as possible, if not any stress at all, without being grateful, without having gratitude. How? Because you will always see something wrong, or something will happen that's wrong, and you will just you'll be not able to cope or see anything good or anything any lesson from it, anything from it, other than something negative, or that it's the end of the world essentially, or that your reality has been broken, or things have gone taken a turn for the worse, which is not the case. But a heart of gratitude changes all that. It shifts all that. It turns things around. Which is why, God always wants us to give thanks. He's told us to give thanks continually. You know, that's in His Word. You know, God says things for a reason, and it's truth. But you have to apply it. And it's practical though. It's practical. It's not like some overly spiritual, something that you have to be so in tune with your, meditating on, like, over here just trying to, be in your own space. Like, it doesn't have to be so. You don't have to speak in tongues for that. You don't have to speak in tongues for that, or jump up and do flips and do anything for that. Just, it's simple, practical. Just be thankful. Just be thank you. I woke up today, God. God, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you for allowing me to walk, run, sing, dance. All these talents and gifts you gave me, I can do them to full capacity and share it with the world and give you the glory for it, because I'm fully able. I'm fully able because my Father is able, right? God is able, so I'm able to do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is powerful right there. And to be thankful for that is so powerful. Because if you're not thankful, you're gonna forget. You just are. It's just a natural human thing to forget. Little things like that have happened. Because once something else happens, it becomes it just sometimes it'll just take the place of what happened just now that was good, and we have to be able to control that, to catch that, to be conscious of that, and that's something that can be in our control, and be able to be conscious of the fact that, all right, this happened, but nope, I'm still thankful anyway. I'm still thankful in this situation, in this good time, in this bad time. I'm still thankful. It's easy to be thankful in a good time, though. More, you would think so, right? It'd be more easy, but in some cases, it could be easy to forget. You're having such a good time, you forget to even thank God. But in bad times, too, it could be harder, but also could be easier because you're like, oh, thank you, God. Like, I didn't know how good I had it, or for real. So it could work both ways, where a bad time and a good time could make you snap out of it and be like, oh, I gotta give thanks for this. But in both, it shouldn't matter. A good time shouldn't have to happen, or a bad time shouldn't have to happen for you to all of a sudden remember. In both, whether a bad time, a good time, or whatever, every time, you should be able to give thanks. You should give thanks, because that's God. That's God's will for us. To be thankful for everything that He's placed on this earth. Everything. The things that people unfortunately get carried away with, as far as nature, as far as where you forget who created in the first place for us to enjoy and be thankful for. The trees, the birds of the air, the lilies of the valley, the animals, the moon, star, sun. These are all created for us to enjoy, to live with, to be thankful for. Not to get carried away and worship and pray to now. Like, some people got wrong. These are great things. These are magnificent things. But how come the people get so straight away, where we start looking at it, it's like something that it's not, because people want to separate the want to, or misconstrue or confuse the magnificent, beautiful creation, and this magnificent, beautiful creation suddenly has no creator, but created itself, or is of its own source, and it's its own, it's all of a sudden has its own autonomy, and now we forget that magnificent creation was created by something more magnificent. So that should tell you how good our God is and how amazing He is to make something so great that people, slip up and start worshiping and forgetting what the true source is, the sun, the moon, and the stars, and realizing that what made that thing that you're so in awe of. Now imagine how much greater God is that created all those things that you guys are missing out, missing mark. But I digress, you know. But even in that, that what I just mentioned, you know how thankful you must be that God just created all of that. That you're so in awe that that you don't even realize that that's a creation. That is just a creation. That's something that was created that was not there to begin with at all. But there's a creator that was there before it all and created that. That is something that you cannot, if you wrap your mind around that and understand that simply, just like a kid believes, listens, believes as soon as you tell them something, not to do something, do something, and they soak in everything that they hear and all that. Just like that, if you believe that simply, just like as a kid, you know, you know, just as a kid, soaks up all the information that they can, without, this, without making it overly complicated, but just understanding things very simply and to its point and for what it is. You understand that, man, that is something to be really thankful for. That this is everything around me that I'm in awe of, or that I can be appreciative of, nature, and just how far we've come as far as knowledge-wise, as far as technology and all these different things, and arts, and just film, and so many things that God has blessed us with. That is all from. These are all creations. These are all was created. So these things were all created. There had to be a creator. These things were not are not independent of themselves. They were not just there. As much as people kind of want to believe that or make it seem that way, but there's so much to be thankful for, and it all comes from the creator who created all these things for His glory and for our enjoyment, for us to have, to live in, to enjoy, to have dominion over. Be thankful for that. We have to. There's literally nothing to be unthankful for. To be, or rather, let me reword that. There's literally nothing to be. Or there's not a time that we should say we can't give thanks for anything. Like it just. This does not mean bad things don't happen or have happened or have. That does not mean bad things don't happen or haven't happened or will stop happening. But rather, in those bad times, and again, also good times too, good as much as good times as bad times, in both, there's something to give thanks about. There is something to give thanks for. There's something to give thanks in, even if the moment itself is not good. It's an unfortunate, even if the moment itself is an unfortunate event or it's not good, there's something within that, or rather within that, but not something within that, but within that, you still need to give thanks, because once out of that, after that, because there's more after that storm. There's more after that storm. There is a reason for thanks, because after that storm, after that rain, after that dark time, there comes the sun. So if the sun is there, you're thankful allows you to wait for the sun. Your thanks allows your gratefulness, your gratitude allows you to withstand the storm and wait for the sun, because you understand that this moment right now is not the best time, and then, but I still give thanks to God because you just trust Him. You just know He's gonna pull you through. You just know. You don't know how. You don't know when. The sun comes out. The sun comes out, and that's evidence. That's the fruit of just being thankful. The sun comes out. Because when you're not thankful, you don't have a heart of gratitude. You're in that storm, right? You're in that storm, right? You could be in that storm physically, right? You'd be in that storm, right? But all right, the sun comes up, but now the sun is out now. But now all of a sudden, you're still in that storm despite the sun being out because you weren't. There was no heart of gratitude. There was no thankfulness that came because why? Because you're still in that storm. Your mind is still in that storm. That storm. You've taken it and now you placed it as your own. You made it. You made that storm, that circumstance you were in has now defined you. Has now become you now you're almost embodying it. You're allowing it to take over. You're allowing it to dictate your life. You're allowing it to be what what your life is about. It becomes the story of your life rather than just a page or a sentence or just a chapter. You allow it to be something that it was never meant to be. So that storm that was only supposed to be for a brief time, a brief moment that everyone goes through at some time as far as suffering, that moment you've allowed it to become your book or your story when it's not even close to it, but maybe even just a footnote even. But rather, with a heart of gratitude, that storm does not become your story, but boom, here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun again. Here comes the sun again. Here comes God proving Himself. Here comes the reason why I'm always thankful. Because the sun gonna shine again. It's gonna shine and shine and shine. Oh, there's gonna be a little bit of storm again. There gonna be some storm, however long it may last. All right, the storm gonna be there, but then being thankful in that brings out the sun. That brings out the sun, and in that, and now going back, just back to even just it starts from within, just from with us, how we can control how we look at things with having a heart of gratitude. As far as because we can't, as far as a physical storm, we gotta you gotta wait till it passes by. But we all know it at some point it's gonna pass by. There's no way it's gonna wait for, unless God commands it. But for the most part, we know in New York or wherever, where it rains a lot, hey, it'll rain a day or two, maybe it'll rain again, but it'll stop. All right, maybe it'll start again. All right, and then it's sunny again. It's sunny. It's sunny again, and it's back, and that's just we don't question it. We don't question when it rains. It's like it's gonna rain today. It's gonna rain today. It's gonna rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, and a little bit on Thursday. We don't question it, and then the whole next 2 months straight sun. We don't question it. We don't think about it. So how come in our own lives when we have rain for a day, when that storm comes on us for a day or two or three, metaphorically speaking, we don't know how long that storm is. I don't know how long that storm is in your life, but for however long, you also have to understand that it's gonna pass at some point. Just like in with a literal storm, it's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. We don't think twice about it. We just know it is. You have to take that on in your own life. It's like, all right, this storm that I'm going through, this situation that I'm going through, however big the storm may be, it could vary for whoever you are. It's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. But having that heart of gratitude will allow you, because it's a different circumstance. We're not talking about actual literal weather here, but we're talking about actual storm or actual situation you're going through. But having a heart of gratitude will allow you to see it the same way you would look at if you were looking at the weather report. Like, all right, it's gonna rain Tuesday, Wednesday, but But the difference is with that, with the weather report, and now we have it on our apps or phones. We can look it up. We can see when that sun's gonna come up, right? In our own lives, sometimes we don't know. We don't know exactly when that storm's gonna end, but we gotta have that faith. We gotta have that. You have to be thankful despite that, and understand that. All right, this will pass by. Even though I don't know when, I don't know if it's gonna be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It will pass, but I'm thankful anyway. I have a heart of gratitude. I know it will pass. That heart of gratitude allows you to see, the same way we look on our phone for the weather app, we see, all right, this storm will pass. Even though we may not know the exact day or minute or second of when it will, approximately, but we know it will because of that heart of gratitude, because we know I'm in the storm, I'm still alive. I'm still alive. The wind is blowing, this is trying to knock me down. I'm still up, I'm still breathing, I'm still standing. Because I'm grateful, I'm living, I'm breathing, thankful. I'm thankful for, where he brought me from. He brought me through that last storm. So, how's this storm gonna do to me? What's this storm gonna do to me? Right? I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. He brought my mom through this. He brought my dad through this. I'm thankful. Being thankful will remember that God did it before. So you expect him to do it for you. You understand he will. He can do it for you. And that thankfulness will call that into all of these things into remembrance. Right? So that's episode 12 for you. Be grateful. Be thankful. Have a heart of gratitude. That's episode 1, 2. Heart of gratitude, y'all. That's it. Oh man, I'm thankful right now, y'all, for all y'all tuning in. That's what I'm thankful for. All y'all tuning in. Heart of gratitude is important. Heart of gratitude. Thankful for y'all tuning in. And yeah, it's episode 1, 2 for y'all. And man, I hope y'all got something from it. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. All y'all who tune in for each and every drop. And who listen to all our previous episodes, any of our previous episodes. I'm thankful for y'all. And yeah, hope y'all got something from it. And walk away from this thankful. Just thankful. Thankful to God for it all. And in everything. So yeah, that's episode 12 for y'all. And yeah, man. Kwanza Global says, much love to y'all. My people, the family. Love y'all, Kwanza Global family. And until next week. That's it for this week. We out. Share this. Drop it on your socials. Tell us what you think. Keep up with us on all our socials, everywhere and anywhere. And yeah, let us know your feedback for real. And that's it. It's episode 1, 2 for y'all. Kwanza Global.